The word assessment has become a loaded term in recent years. When it appears in the newspaper and conversation, it's often used to solely describe high-stakes end-of-year exams. But this discourse has made it hard to remember what assessment truly means. So let's take a minute to reflect on the purpose of assessment. We'll start by defining assessment. Rick Stiggins, in his book Perfect Assessment System, defines it as the process of gathering evidence of student learning to inform educational decisions. We see here that assessment is not just an isolated test, but rather a set of steps. This starts with identifying the question that needs to be answered or the decision that needs to be made. For instance, this could be whether a student understands the structure, classifications, and physical properties of matter. The next step in the assessment process is to determine whether there's enough evidence out there to answer this question. Does the student truly understand this standard? If the answer is yes, then the process is complete. However, if there's insufficient evidence, then we need to collect and evaluate more evidence. This process would continue until we have tangible evidence that the student understands the properties of matter. This flowchart shows how assessment is an essential part of education. This idea is supported by author Milton Chen, who described effective education in an article for Edutopia as a three-legged stool, resting on the legs of assessment, curriculum, and instruction. We readily accept the importance of curriculum instruction, but sometimes speak as though assessment is something we have to do, rather than an integral part of education. Without assessment, the stool collapses, because you have no way to collect and act on evidence in order to inform educational decisions. We'll wrap up this look into the purpose of assessment by looking at the roots of the word itself. Assessment comes from the Latin word assedere, which means to sit beside. The idea here is that assessment, when used correctly, is not something to be feared, but rather a valuable co-pilot on a student's educational journey. When thought of and implemented that way, we can truly tap into the purpose of assessment.